Welcome to Devil's Diary, where secrets fear of being found out. So do you love dolls? If so, then you will love the video.
Nestled inside the canals of Xochimilco, simply south of Mexico City, lies an eerie location shrouded in thriller and macabre folklore. La Isla de las Muñecas, or the Island of the Dolls. While you are here, why not like and subscribe? Let's continue. This haunting destination is far from a regular visitor spot. It's an area in which the strains among reality and nightmare blur, and in which heaps of dolls, decaying and weather-worn, dangle from timber, their dead eyes staring into the souls of folks who dare to visit. Before we move further, please like and subscribe, or the dolls will haunt you forever. Now let's dive in. The legend of the Island of the Dolls starts with a tragedy. In the 1950s, a person named Julián Santana Barrera retreated to the island to stay in solitude, escaping the hustle and bustle of town life. However, his non-violent life was quickly disrupted through a dark and unsettling occasion. According to the legend, Julián located the frame of a younger woman who had drowned inside the canal. He changed into Haunted by using the guilt of no longer being able to save her, and soon after he discovered a doll floating near the webpage of her demise. Believing it belonged to the deceased lady, he hung the doll on a tree as a sign of admiration and to assuage her spirit. But the act of striking that unmarried doll turned into just the beginning. Julián became convinced that the lady's spirit became stressed and haunted the island. Driven by using worry and a determined choice to soothe her, he began amassing dolls from anywhere he ought to find them. Garbage dumps, canals, or even buying and selling his very own plants for vintage dolls. He hung these dolls on bushes, fences, and buildings, believing that this would satisfy the female spirit and protect him from evil forces. As the years went by way of, Julián's series of dolls grew, and so did their chilling presence. Dolls of all shapes and sizes, lacking limbs, heads, and eyes, decorated the island. Some had been nailed to trees, others tied with string, and lots of had been left to rot, there as soon as colorful colors faded into gruesome sunshades of deterioration. Spiders crawled through their empty eye sockets, and the doll's hair became entangled with moss and cobwebs. With each new doll, Julián believed he became safeguarding himself from the vengeful spirit that tormented him. Julián's obsession with the dolls consumed his existence. He believed the dolls spoke to him and that the spirit of the woman could whisper warnings of threat. Visitors who stumbled upon the island were regularly struck by the overpowering experience of unease. The dolls appeared to follow them with their eyes, and the silence turned into broken simplest by way of the occasional rustling of leaves or the distant sound of water. Many who visited mentioned feeling a palpable experience of dread, as though unseen eyes have been watching their every circulate. Julián's willpower toward the dolls lasted for over 50 years, but his existence on the island came to a sudden and mysterious result in 2001. He becomes observed lifeless in the equal canal in which he claimed to have found the woman's frame decades in advance. The eerie parallel between his demise and the younger females fueled the legend even similarly, changed into it in reality a tragic twist of fate, or had the vengeful spirit sooner or later claimed him. Those who knew Julián frequently talked about his fears and the extraordinary events that plagued his final years. He referred to hearing footsteps in the dark, the whispers of the dolls and shadows that regarded to transport whilst no one was around. Some agree that Julián's dying was the result of the spirit eventually taking her revenge, while others assume that years of isolation and obsession drove him to madness. The Island of the Dolls has become a haunted place that attracts visitors every year. The island features twisted and broken dolls, creating a surreal and nightmarish atmosphere. Visitors often experience the mystical hearing whispers, children giggling, and dolls' heads turning on their own. Photographs often reveal shadowy figures or unexplained anomalies, adding to the notion that the island is haunted. Locals believe the dolls are possessed by spirits of the dead and serve as a bridge between the living and the supernatural. Regardless of the authenticity of these claims, the island of the dolls conjures up worry, fascination, and a chilling reminder of the thin veil that separates the living from the dead. The island of the dolls is a terrifying and haunting place, rooted in the tragic history of Julián's legacy. Visitors can experience a world where dolls cling silently, waiting for their turn. The rustle of the wind and creak of a doll's limb serve as a reminder of the island's haunting past. As long as the dolls remain, so will the testimonies of the island of the dolls, blurring the line between the living and the supernatural. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.